How's it going, everybody? It's been a few days or so, maybe a little bit more since I made a video or wrote anything. I've been writing, but I haven't been writing up here on Substack. But I wanted to go ahead and share a few updates with you of what's been going on with me. One of them you might even be able to hear right now. It's this little buddy here who's, his name is Pumpkin, Pumpkin the duck. And Pumpkin lives with us right now. Look at this little cutie. I can feel his little heartbeat pumping right now as I'm holding him. Hey, Rob Stewart. So Pumpkin the duck is with us because maybe it's kind of going on 10 weeks now. My daughter said to me, "Dad, can I have a duck?" And I said, well, if you're asking for a duck, then maybe there's a reason why you want a duck. And I'll just assume that the universe said yes to you, but it doesn't feel like I need to say yes. And so it's maybe coming, and if it does come in, I won't stop it, but I don't feel called to be the provider of said duck. Well, a month after I said that, a duck laid an egg in our front yard. And my daughter was pretty thrilled. We stuck it in an incubator, and a month later, which is almost 2 weeks, it'll be 2 weeks on Saturday, we ended up with Pumpkin, who incredibly has grown tremendously. I've never seen a duck come from birth to whatever size. And when I say this sucker is about 3 to 4 times the size it was when it came into the earth or came out of its egg, out of its shell, to now would be no exaggeration. I can't believe how big he is. And what's interesting about Pumpkin, though, I've been learning a lot of spiritual lessons from Pumpkin. One of the lessons I learned from Pumpkin is Pumpkin doesn't know anything about humans. And as far as I know, he just jumped off the counter. And I just caught his little butt. He might not know that much about being a duck, about ducks either. But what I do know is Pumpkin saw us and decided, y'all are mine. I think that's called imprinting. And this little sucker does not follow me everywhere I go, walking around the house, follows the girls or whoever, follows the dog and the dog doesn't like it. But Pumpkin just came into the world innocent and ready to follow whoever was the first people or the first animal or the first ducks he saw. And it made me think about us as humans and how we come into this world innocent, despite what many Christians kind of teach us. No offense to their bad theology, but we come into this world and we're trusting, we're innocent, we're full of receptive energy. We're willing to receive because that's how we have to survive. And this little duck came in here with no understanding of the world. He doesn't know that I was in Beijing, I ate duck. he doesn't know. He just loves me, or well, I don't know if he loves me, but he definitely just accepts me. Like, look at this duck, just let me hold him. And I feel like that's how we all come into the world, receptive to love and everything. But then something happens. Usually it's our parents, but something happens and we lose sight of our value and our worth and our deservedness. And we kind of become less than who we truly are. And then we start to think that that's just the way things are. And then when our kids come into the world, we tend to teach them, well, that's how you survive around here. And then we become less and less of the fullness of who we are. But in the Bible, actually, it doesn't instruct us in that. Paul actually said or prayed that we know the love of Christ that surpasses all understanding and that we could be filled with all the fullness of God. Jesus said, "Be ye perfect even as your Father in heaven is perfect, and greater things that I do you can do because I return to the Father." All these ideas that we have the capacity to become something greater than we experience ourselves as. But we forget when we come here. And this duck and many other things have been giving me greater permission to remember who I am. And then I want to encourage you to remember who you are. One of the things that has actually sparked this desire to be about remembering the reality of who we are as innocent creatures was the Michael Jackson movie. Pumpkin was born right when the Michael Jackson movie was coming out, around that time, or hatched, I guess you would say. And in the movie, you saw that Michael Jackson loved innocent creatures, loved animals, loved children. And when I look at this duck, I can see how a person could see an animal that isn't corrupted by the systems of the world and just wants to be in that energy of love and of fulfillment and wonder and beauty and imagination. I could totally see that. And I could see how this world could think that that's weird. When you're a little kid, it's cute. I remember when I was in school and church, I used to ask all these questions about God and Jesus and really out of my innocence wanted to understand. And everybody thought it was cute till I got older and started asking questions. Then they told me, shut the H up and get your A out. Because I started, in their mind, I wasn't doing what was expected of me, which was to think everybody was sinners bound for hell if they didn't think the way I thought. And so eventually they kicked me out. And that's what a lot of us do. And I look at this dude, Michael Jackson, who I'm not going to act like he didn't have some problems, but I do believe that dude was really totally trying to live like a child, like the Bible says, trying to live from innocence and maybe had arrested development. But I know one thing, my kids, ever since they watched that movie, they have been just thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it and talking about it and saying, like, why did the world treat him this way? And my daughter even told me that she feels like if he were alive right now, he would be even more popular because there's things that we understand about people's development and things that we didn't know when Michael Jackson was growing up, and just all sorts of things. But this duck is very distracting. He is nibbling the heck out of me. But at any rate, but I think about that, and I think about how he tried to live in a certain way, and he just did not have permission to live that way. And when you think about anybody who tries to bring about change or transformation, you see it time and time again, even with Martin Luther King Jr. and all those kind of people. When they try to do something that's different than what the world is used to, say goodbye to the people. I'm gonna put you down for a second. But when they try to do something different, the system purges them, destroys them, says, hey, that's not how we do things around here. That's not how we roll. And I think that it's time that we start to give ourselves permission to just be exactly who we are, to reconnect with our own innocence, to reconnect with surrender, and to trust the world that it has everything that it needs for all of us to thrive. I've been thinking about it. I was thinking about that the other day in light of watching this duck just coming into the world. I'm thinking about in the Bible where Jesus says, consider the lilies and consider the whatever birds he said, I can't remember right now, sparrows, that they don't have to worry and they don't have to toil and all these other things. But we've created a world that's the very opposite of that. We created a world where everybody's got to toil, or not everybody, the real rich, like greedy people seem to be avoiding the toil, but the rest of us are believing that we're meant to toil, that we don't deserve to have ourselves provided for the way this duck is being provided for. But I think that we do deserve it by the very virtue of our existence, and that we need to create systems that are more in alignment with nature than whatever miscreation that we keep making in this world. This duck is like, it won't leave me alone. It just climbed back on me. But it's not a very articulate or whatever video today because I'm really kind of preoccupied with this duck. But I wanted to just tell you that if you want or looking for permission to remember who you are, and it matters that a dude with a seminary degree says, hey, it's okay, then here we are. Because we need to do something better. I've said before that I totally agree with Buckminster Fuller, who said that we have everything we need to create a world where every human being on the planet can live at a higher standard of living than any person throughout history. He said that in the 80s. And we do have everything. When I go into the grocery store every day, I know we have plenty. In my neighborhood right now where I live, on one street, there's 3 grocery stores full of food. One street over, there's a Walmart full of food. Across the street from that is a King Soopers full of food. And yet people are going to go to bed hungry tonight. Why? There's plenty. There's more than enough for all of the people on the earth. It's just that a lot of us are greedy as hell. But we don't have to be. We could create new systems, but we have to believe that we're worthy of those systems. And we have to stop believing that some of us are worthy and some of us aren't worthy. I think we have to come from the position that all of us are worthy. And as long as we think that some of us are and some of us aren't, then we're going to co-sign some of these harmful systems that have been damaging this world for a very long time. And so I've shifted my consciousness to say everybody's worthy, and then go from there and reshape how I show up and give myself permission to remember what I knew when I was born into the world, that I'm worthy of love, that I'm worthy of provision, that I'm worthy of gifting my true and authentic self to every space that I show up in, and that the people who can receive me will receive me, and the people who won't receive me, well, they'll go somewhere else. But I don't know. That's all I kind of have right now. I can't hold this duck, let this duck pinch me anymore. I'm telling you, this sucker is pinching me with his little bill. He is going crazy. But you know what? He's cute, but he's only going to get bigger. So just to give you an update on him, once he gets a little bit bigger, we're taking him to a farm with some other ducks, and hopefully he'll integrate with those other ducks and learn to live a duck life. But up until now, all he knows is a human life. All he knows is being around people and dogs and bunnies. And actually, I'm gonna do a little tangent. Something I was saying the other day is that if he could talk and tell the other ducks that he ends up being with what his life was like, they'll never know, because they would have lived a life among ducks. So when he shows up and tries to tell them about his life, they would be like, "What are you talking about? The humans are like this," and he would have a completely different story about humans than other ducks would have. And I think that that's something to think about with each and every one of us, that each of us has a unique story that maybe no one else can understand, but we don't need people to understand. We just need to maybe be accepted. So I've kind of come to the place where I don't want anybody to understand me. I don't expect anybody to understand me, but people who love me can accept me, and I can accept other people, which is what I'm also leaning into. So anyway, this little duck has been a minister to me, and I really appreciate, even though I said I didn't resist him coming into my life, but I also didn't ask for him. But I'm grateful that he's here teaching me what he's teaching me, and reminding me of life, and reminding me of love, and reminding me that we're all, deep down, we're all innocent, even the assholes. So with that, I don't know. I'm going to go back to writing soon and things like that. I'm finishing up my Enneagram training this week and getting certified. So I've been working on that stuff and working on a few things in the spiritual center that I'm working at. And all those things. I guess, I'm sorry I'm all over the place, but I'm just kind of sharing. Another thing that I've realized, that the community that you're around can either hinder the person you're becoming, or they can help harvest the person that you're becoming. And I think it's important to make choices to be around people who will help harvest the person that you're becoming, the person who is worthy of love and worthy of grace and all those things. So I'm probably going to be, I'm kind of going back to the way I was when I was a little kid, which is really kind of cool. Before I let a couple divorces and getting kicked out of church jack me up. And I'm grateful to be able to be alive, to witness myself coming back into alignment with this truth that I know. Well, that's it. I love y'all, and I hope y'all are loving yourselves, and we'll see what comes up next for me in creativity. There's so much I want to share that I've been learning. I haven't been allowing myself to. I've been hanging out with some of my less than savory feelings in a new way as well. Instead of just like, I feel, whoa, my dog scared me. I was articulating them before because I was hoping they would maybe help some other people who are having a hard time articulating what they're experiencing in the world. But I'm taking a break from that right now and focusing more on just cultivating kind of like inner peace and community. Hey, Angel, shh. My dog's name is Angel, but Angel is not an angel. And Pumpkin is more of an angel than Angel is, and Angel's more of a pumpkin. But at any rate, I guess that's it. If you get something out of it, great. And if you don't, I understand. It's been a little bit of a ramble with some distractions of getting nibbled on by a duck, but but it's been fun for me. So I hope you get something out of it. Until next time, remember who you are. Give yourself permission. Love yourself. Be around people who will love you. This duck, like, I don't know if this duck loves me, but I know this duck won't leave me alone. Like, I keep trying to put it down, and he just keeps coming back on me so he can get on top of me and nibble me up. At any rate, this is cool. So I'm gonna let him say bye. Say bye, pumpkin. Say bye, you little goofball. He pecked me in the eyeball the other day. Anyway, have a good one. Take care. Whoop. Come on, pumpkin. All right. Bye.